Joe Rogan bulldozes through the talking points of the transgender agenda in stunning video. Should children be given hormones to change their gender? Just go through quickly what happened. It was Joe Rogan versus Adam Conover. Joe Rogan argued there's no reason to give your kids hormones. He also said, and there's no reason to decide before a person's frontal lobe is completely, fully developed, which doesn't even take place until they're 25. So what Joe Rogan is suggesting is kind of like the Supreme Court ruling in Japan. You must be over 20 if you want to, transition or whatever. It's a very common argument. I mean, Joe Rogan brings up, the fact about a 7-year-old not knowing who they are at 7 years old. 7-year-olds can't vote. So obviously he's bringing up the fact that 7-year-olds can't vote, but, this guy wants them to be able to decide what sex they're going to be for the rest of their life, basically. Okay, here's what Adam Conover did. Conover gave the example of a friend of his who thought it was humane to respect the decision of their young boy to identify as a girl. And then Joe Rogan, I think he's making an argument for gender expression because he says, but if that's who they are, if they think they are a girl, why do you have to give them hormones to make them more of a girl? He talks more about gender expression, saying if the child thinks, he's a girl, let him think that. And then again questioned why the addition of the hormones in the first place. Continuing by saying it's totally a choice because you're choosing to chemically change the child's body. And then this is basically the end of the argument because Joe Rogan cited a study. Libtards be like, oh fuck, here come the facts. So yeah, Joe Rogan cited a study about gender affirmation surgery after the fact. It led to considerably higher risk for mortality, suicidal behavior, and psychiatric morbidity. And Joe Rogan concludes saying this phenomenon of transgender children or babies. He says it's a completely new thing with no historical precedent. We've never done this before. He's completely right. Again, rightfully so, he wants to know the research behind this and why it's a positive thing, Okay, now Joe Rogan finally concludes with this. Show me the decades of peer-reviewed studies on one of the most important things that we know of, the development of the human being. I mean, just think about it, your body develops in one way, right? For men it's different, and for women it's different. Your body is growing and developing in one way, and then, you get hormones at a young age, and then it just that stops. I guess it would interfere with the natural, the unnatural would interfere with the natural growth. I mean, how in any way, shape, or form is, giving children hormone therapy a good idea?